Vertical mode on a Garmin DriveSmart or Newbie. This is a DriveSmart 50. Do you want to use it? Well, maybe you don't. My more popular video at the time I record this is the DriveSmart 55, which does not have a vertical mode, also known as a portrait mode. Let me show you how this would ordinarily be accessed. It's in settings and then display and then orientation. When you're in landscape, that's the normal way it looks, and portrait is this, so that's how that works. So like I said, in the 55 doesn't have it, and I don't think it's in the 65 either. But anyway, you might be thinking, well, that kind of looks like a phone. Maybe I'd really like to use that. Well, I'm going to show you why you probably wouldn't. Now, it's easy enough to get used to a vertical layout. Where things get annoying is when you're actually trying to find stuff. Now, if you do a search, for example, if you have your previous searches here, well, these are nice big buttons. These are easy, but you'll already notice this is where things just get annoying real fast because all the buttons are scrunched. So if I try to find something, let's just say I was going to look for post offices. Now, when I'm doing this stationary, this doesn't look too bad, but I can do this way faster if it was in a landscape mode because the buttons are much larger. And if I do a search, sure, it will locate them. But then here's the second problem, is that it cuts off the text. So I actually have to go and look at this. No, actually, if you see this right here, okay. If you highlight one, it will horizontally scroll the title of it, or you can just hit info and you can get it this way. But even so, you don't have to do any of this if it's in horizontal landscape instead of the portrait mode here, so that's kind of annoying. The same thing happens when you go through your favorites. So yeah, I mean, is it really worth it? I'd say no, honestly, just because of the way that the text is laid out on a DriveSmart. And if I'm going through the cities, any category, anything where there's a list, if it's a shorter name like these, then sure, you can read all of it. But once you start getting to longer names, yeah, again, you have to highlight it and it will do the horizontal thing, or again, you got to go to info and get it like that. So yeah, like this one, oh, okay, it says, you can read it down here a little bit. But if it's in an address, yeah, you're going to have a bit of an issue. Like if I go to, let's just do a Target, for example. And scroll down. Okay, this is a shorter name, so this one's not too bad. But like this one right here, it's not, okay, this one's not even scrolling. Oh, National Target. See, I didn't even know mailing was in that. So when you're trying to go through a list, it can get a little bit annoying to use if you're going to do it that way. Yeah. So now I'll give you the advantages of it. If you're going inputting coordinates, yeah, this is easier. Totally, because it makes a gigantic number pad. If you're the type that puts in coordinates a lot, this is better than the landscape mode for sure. That, I will not argue that point. But when it comes to inputting anything text, that's where you see the failing really of this, or even if I want to just go to another city. So yeah, see, there's another option down here. Well, actually, I think this might be better in here, because you get more options. This would, you'd have to scroll down a few screens. Instead of one scroll, you'd have to do 2 scrolls or 2 swipes or whatever like that. So there are advantages and disadvantages to using portrait mode, aka vertical mode. But I think the cons outweigh outweigh the pros. So if you were really hankering for this feature, like, oh, I really want this, oh, take it from me. It's kind of a mixed bag, mostly in the bad direction. So I even though I have the feature, I don't use it. I will use this in landscape 100% of the time. And also, oh, we'll just get to the meat of this. Okay, what about the map? Well, what does that look like? Okay, so if I will go to a where to, let's just find a place here. I'll do a target. Yeah, we'll just do that one.
Calculating a route to target. This destination is inside the village at Allen. Turn right at the stop sign.
Okay.
Then turn right.
Let me just mute the volume here. Alright. Although I have a different color scheme going on right now. Yeah, this will be the last thing I'll show because this is kind of important. You can get along with this down here, and you can bring up, yeah, your menu. That's the thing. If you have a menu like this on the little wrench menu, it takes up a lot of space. When you have a junction view that literally takes up more than half the map, that's kind of annoying. Now, when you're looking at directions here, specifically for exits, that's going to scrunch quite a bit up here too. So, I mean, it works. I'll give it that. It works. But, again, it's one of those things where it's a nice idea, but honestly, the Garmin's in particular, they just work better in a landscape mode instead of a portrait mode. Maybe this would be better on a motorcycle, just because it's easier to mount something vertically on a bike. But in a car, no, I give the nod to landscape over portrait.